Okay, it is Thursday, November 20th, 2025. Original County Commissioners are now in session. Commissioner Tony Vero, joined by Commissioner Banks. Senior Clerk Stacy Crawl, Matt Hill in the Auditor's Office, Josh Hicks, our Maintenance Superintendent, our Auditor Pat Dropsy, Andy McGinty, Deputy Treasurer, and our County Administrator Andrew Keller. We'll get into our really scheduled items. Motion to certify the record of proceedings for November 18th, 2025.
No move.
Second,
Rivera,
yes.
Yes.
Motion to certify the record of proceedings. Motion to approve requisitions.
So move.
Second,
Rivera,
yes.
Commissioner Banks.
All right, we have weekly transfers and appropriations. I'll ask for a motion that we approve weekly transfers and appropriations, pulling the auditor's request for a $20,000 transfer at this time.
Move.
Second,
Rivera,
yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
All right. Matt, I think you're up. That's why Andy's here. We are hopefully coming down the home stretch of renovations, and part of those renovations is the new Land Bank Conference Room. It is, we're getting a new Land Bank Conference Room, and it's going to be bigger and much nicer for the public. And I won't necessarily call this a bad, but you probably need some additional equipment then to accommodate the new space. So that's what we're here to discuss. We have a request for a conference system and a Ethernet extender. The conference system is 369438. The extender is 265.99 for quantity of one. So Matt, what do you got?
Her current, she has a Logitech meetup. It's actually more for small conference rooms. The biggest downside with it is I can't hook multiple microphones up on it. And with the new conference room being longer, it allows us to add additional microphones to it. So we're gonna have 3 microphones in that room. So people don't have to come up front to talk, to be able to be recorded when they're on any kind of a meeting. So that was the biggest need and reason for this camera system that we're looking at. Her existing one, you can't hook up more than 1 mic on it. So it's kind of limited on, and it's only got a 10-foot radius. So it's kind of small for a room that's 40 feet long, 35 feet long. So that was the reason for getting this camera. And this is the only one that we can add more mics to from Logitech. So
Sense. Motion to approve out of capital.
No move.
Second,
Commissioner Rivera,
yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Okay, next up, we have a resolution. We need to set a public hearing on Thursday, December 18th at 10:30, and that is for a petition to vacate a portion of Kent Drive in Mifflin Township. May we have that motion to set the hearing?
So move.
Second,
Rivera,
yes.
Yes.
All right, next up, we have a request from Lori Betson at JFS. She's seeking approval to offer employment to 3 individuals. It would be a Vanessa Adkins for an eligibility referral specialist 2, starting rate of $19.45 per hour with a tentative start date of 12/4/2025 at 9 months. Amanda Clark would also have a similar position, but this would be for $19.26 with the start date of December 4th, tentatively, with probation of 9 months. And then a Heaven Deary at a social service worker 1 at $18.80. The tentative start date of December 4th, 2025 as well, with the probation again of 9 months. May we have a motion to approve?
Move.
Second,
Commissioner Rivera,
yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
All right, next up, we have a request in which we are very thankful for. This is from Michelle Swank at Dayspring. She's seeking that we accept the donation from the Russell and Mary Gimbel Foundation, which great thanks to them. And it's a check for $1,200, or $20 gifts to go to the residents. So special thanks to them. And I will ask that we approve that.
I will make that motion with deep gratitude.
Second,
Commissioner Barrow,
yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Okay, we have two items next. This is for Control Concepts of Ohio. One is for repairs at this county administration building, the other is at repairs for the park building. 3,905.00 for admin, 1,296.26 for park building. And our maintenance superintendent, Josh Hicks, is here to tell us briefly what that will entail.
So these are both repairs to the HVAC system of both buildings. Here it's courthouse, it's a fan, and that's the $3,905 quote. And then over at park building, it is for some dampers for circulating air.
Okay, motion to approve both of those.
So move.
Second,
Barrow,
yes.
Banks.
Yes.
Joshua, go forth and dampen. All right, we're a little bit ahead of schedule, but we actually have to. And that's good because we have some additional business to add on. At this time, I'll ask for an executive session or a motion to go into executive session to discuss compensation of a public employee.
So move.
Second,
Barrow,
yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Stacy and Andrew, will you remain here, please?
Yeah, I tried to go across the street at 11, but she wasn't available.
Okay, we are back in session at 10 o'clock to have our bid opening for the juvenile detention plumbing project. Due to the vast quantity of bids we received, which is one.
Say that.
What's that? Don't say that. We have to go public and say it's one bid. So
Emphasis.
emphasis of one. So the one bid, here it is. It is from Standard Plumbing and Heating. We do have the bid bond. And it is for 532, 480.00.
For the juvenile plumbing.
That's for the juvenile plumbing. All right, boys,
Maybe your estimate.
seeing no further, actually,
Wait,
Although I'm just curious to be reminded of the estimate on that.
what's the estimate?
488,000.
Okay,
80?
What's in just shy?
488,000.
so it's. I guess you'll review to see if it meets the appropriate specs and
They have two addendums listed.
I'm sure he did. That would be 10%, so he's just under.
I believe you're okay on the addendum side. You can review that.
We can review that.
Yep. Okay, guys, thank you. At this time, I'll ask for motion to go in executive session to discuss compensation of a public employee.
So move.
Second.
Rivera,
Yes.
Banks.
same formula, and it's not giving you an answer.
Well, I wasn't,
Out of exec.
I'm not ready to come out of executive session. Daryl, let's.
Let's go.
Yeah. All right, we are back in session after an executive session. We're going to continue with our budget. Just to update the taxpayers and Hayden, who's joined us, is Pat, Stacy, Andrew, myself yesterday. Looked at the budget as a whole. We do believe there will be some opportunity to increase revenues, and by that I don't mean a stretch to do it. So I want to say with the caveat though, is you don't balance your way to a budget by trying to find ways to increase your revenue. So we are going to go through the process as we always do, office by office, and make any necessary cuts. At the end of that, we will then discuss any potential to increase revenue, appropriately balance. And again, we won't ever balance off of what we might say is a stretch, right, Mr. Keller? If we believe there is appropriate and realistic revenue that hasn't been accounted for, it will be at that point we increase our revenues. Not even gonna talk about that until we continue to do our process. Is that right, Commissioner Banks?
That is correct. We will go through each budget before we do that.
All right, so Stacy, where you want to go?
I'm just going to the top of the budget. We don't want to do us until Cliff's back.
All right, we're not gonna do us and the prosecutors for sure, because Cliff's the prosecutor liaison and that's a bigger budget, so we would like him to offer some input as well on
So
ours. And just so you know, Hayden, the commissioners keep a spotlight on ourselves. Stacy and I meet every year individually and go over every line item in our budget. So that will take place Friday. So we wanted to make sure we're holding ourselves to the same standard as well. All right, Stacy, let's rock. We're gonna do human resources. Okay.
really the us is postage. And when I looked at it yesterday, and it's one of those things, like, so the cost has gone up. We can't really do much about that, and requirements about sending out more money and all that kind of stuff. But when I looked at it yesterday, which you can look in Munis if you want, I think she's either it's a wide range, but she's gonna spend somewhere between 234,000 and 256. And they're asking for 295, 450.
So you think we can reduce it a little bit?
Yeah, I was thinking 260, but you could do 265 because
We're
at,
this is 265.
I think Rachel's providing that number to Kel.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Rachel would have done that. And it's so, let me look. I can bring it up because I just made notes yesterday. I didn't, 5300301. She's at 215 right now. And we did 244 last year, and they paid November's bill. So we only have December's bill to pay. So my numbers ranged from an average and just taking what they paid in November. Let's say they have to pay it again in December. I just didn't know how low you want to go. And again, if they need it, we're going to have to replace it. It's postage. Sheriff's got to send out notices for the elections. We got to mail stuff, the courts. Everybody's got to mail stuff.
Now, Board of Elections, I know they have their own postage line item
They do, but some of the stuff comes.
next year, federal election year. But that, Rachel raised it to 285 for this year, and seeing what actuals are coming, I'm
Yeah.
comfortable with 285 again. And I know we're talking about maybe doing less than that, but I'm speculating as Rachel's not here, but I assume the only reason she raised it $10,000 was because of the increase in postage costs.
Yep.
If that's the only reason, looking at actuals, I think 285, 450. Certainly don't want to do more than that.
I think we can reduce it.
You're probably right, as Stacy's saying.
Also, Stacy, you looked at some things and think there's a couple $100,000 savings in some other places. So let's go back a step. Where do we think we can do that?
Postage. the EMA vehicle. And I know you don't, the veterans burial line item, so not within their budget, and I'm just looking at history and actuals. But when we get there, we get there. Our telephone bill. Possibly removing the computers from the prosecutor's budget, which will be discussed later. The coroner's autopsy line item and taking out the retirement from tax map. Again, if you take that out, we have to put it back if she retires, but we've been allowing Adam to keep that in his budget just in case she does leave.
All right, let's move the vehicle from EMA out for sure. And I think that's consistent right now with our thought process. That is a large capital expense. That's not something day to day for the operation of the county. I mean, it's used obviously, but now if we somehow balance and have a little more at the end where it's not 0, we can look at some of the smaller capital expenses to keep in the general fund, like some vehicles of $40,000, et cetera. But let's at least move the EMA vehicle out.
Yeah, it was 235,000 is what I got to with all
I'm
of
hesitant to touch the veterans budget because they don't ask what they're entitled for.
Well, and we look, I mean, I can show you, and and I was just looking at history in this year. And it's not their operating budget, but it's still underneath them and they still pay it. So there's their operating budget. And then it's down here, the grave markers, the burials and memorial. And I'm waiting, we only pay $500 per entity for Memorial Day. And there's a bill that's increasing it to 1,000. It's been 500 forever. So I was going to lower that until I saw that bill was in the process. But so, they've been 79, 82, 84, and right now they are, and we can have a talk with them. I was just looking to say, okay, what
I would ask them first before we change it. Talk. Yeah, why don't you have Daryl talk to him?
this year they're at 76,000. So they're lower than last year. As of right now, they still have, a couple weeks. Now remember, our bill cutoff date is December 5th for the general fund, I think. Yeah, I think it's December 5th. So they only have like 2 more weeks. And I was thinking about taking it down to 95,000. So not a lot. And still more than, they're at 76,000 this year. And they were at 84 last year. So it was just a little trim, but something to discuss. Because we're still trying to cut $1.8 million. Right?
And I mean, that's one of those, it is what it is expenses. So I think.
Same thing, if you need it,
Yeah.
we're gonna find a way to put it back. Oh, yeah.
See, out of your 235,000 in savings, what did you ultimately attribute to the postage?
I was suggesting going to 260,000. Which is a big drop from what they're asking from, but
Based on actuals, it seems realistic.
yeah,
Well, if we went with 265, we're covering a little more.
And there could be a little more next year because of the
right.
election.
Yeah.
When was the last federal election? 22?
24, just last year. So,
That was 244.
right.
And I know the cost went up. That's why we increased it this year. I didn't do like the last 6 months. I forget when the cost went up this year. And you can consult
I
with
think July.
Rachel. So that'd have been the November election, but not the primary. So of course, November was small, but you can consult with Kelly and Rachel if you want and ask them their opinion.
Okay, that's fine too.
based on what she's doing right now, what she thinks it's gonna, with an increase, what it's gonna be.
Right?
A nearly 7% increase in first class postage. So we can certainly bake in 7%. I know it went in mid-year this year, but we would want to add at least 7% to what we approved or what was actual in 20.
It's 235 right now.
Um. Let me look. Back up.
They're asking for 295, Daryl.
Yeah.
Okay, they still have to pay December, but we've spent
215.
this year so far.
So if we allowed,
And we still have to pay December.
so we allowed another 20, that'd be up to 235. And if we gave him 10%, we'd be 258.
Her November bill was,
We do a 7% increase, which is the increase in postage over 2024. We'd end up at what, 261,000 plus or minus.
yeah, so November, they had another expense. It was like $41,000 in November, but monthly, I would say 20,000 is,
215 and 235, and even at 10%, we'd be at 258. So if we go
I was thinking 260.
260 or 265,
I-
right in there, what somewhere.
I mean, I'll go 265
265 it is.
and you can talk to him about it.
Yeah.
I don't remember if there was something else that they were worried about sending out next year, but I don't know what else in the HR budget. It's really nothing else to touch. They took out their advertising and printing. Gonna do it another advertising the media. Next would be maintenance, and I don't know what to touch in there either.
Nothing.
Cause he increased the cleaning because we don't know, we know we're asking for more in the contract. I didn't sit down and look at his actuals. I don't know what is. Right, that,
We definitely have to spend more money in the cleaning contracts because job's not getting done.
we already did 911. EMA taking the vehicle out.
Hey, Stacy, on maintenance,
Huh?
utilities. Date, do you happen?
So, little lesson I learned from my years in the private sector. Never mess with the maintenance budget because no matter what you put in the maintenance budget, it still will never be enough.
Was thinking the same thing.
And we have found every year since we have been in office.
What's the point in cutting?
Now, listen, if he had a $10 trillion request for a new F-35, that would be another story here, but,
He said we've spent $206,374. That was $42,000 encumbered, which leaves like a 20,000, not touched. and Heather's been trying to calculate it so that she has enough open.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I don't think we're,
Budget enough for this year and at this. Go with next year.
that's why I didn't raise it, because it didn't seem to,
When you recalculated the health insurance, that with which,
I haven't, the only health insurance that I've changed so far is juvenile courts. Brian got back with me,
it went up.
it went up. One of them went down, one of them went up, and combined, it was a little raise. I have not heard Jill's supposed to be working on the sheriff's, and I haven't changed anybody else's. That's something I usually don't look until that first pay in December hits. That's how I can see what everybody has
Sure.
chosen and changed to,
We can wait and do that then.
so. I haven't done that. I think if I remember from Josh's, cleaning is the only thing he took up, if I remember correctly.
Yep, other than. Wages.
EMA was only the vehicle. The only thing in the building department was, his contract services. Which was for new software. And it's not a huge increase. Elections wasn't much, it's all in salaries. Their increase was all salaries. And a little bit of supplies.
Let's see, Board of Elections, there wasn't much there. They have a statutory raise for the the board members.
Mhm.
Travel's gone up significantly.
They want more members to do some training, I know.
So the actual for 24 was higher number than what was budgeted for 25.
And they do have board run, they do have some separate autonomy. You would know that, Mr. Keller, right?
They said he addressed that one. I think Matt addressed
Yes.
this here too.
Don't they ever? Seems like everyone has good lobbyists, but need to get on Board of Elections.
They actually have their own statute that.
Yes, they do.
To apply to sue you.
They can,
It doesn't.
they can, yeah. That would be second to courts being able to order their budget and my legislative priorities of budget fixes. I still will never know how that's possible. There's supposed to be a separation powers. How is it that court can serve as judicial, executive / legislative?
Because when they wrote those laws, the legislator was about 90% lawyers.
Well, and here's the thing, Daryl. Most of it wasn't written.
Most of it wasn't written. Judges decided that judges needed separation of powers by having commissioner authority in which they could order their budget. It's still to this day
Bad
unbelievable.
as I thought it was, it's getting worse.
And argue that the courts need to be able to function because then every other elected office, like the sheriff and prosecutor, can make that same argument, but they can't order their budget. So I still will never understand. You can do an article on that all day long, Aiden. Can you tell I'm still chapped over that?
So the phone bill, I'm only reducing it 5,000. I put in one. I'm putting in 175, so. That's not.
I see we were 171.5 and 24.
Me. And we don't know any of that. Auditor's budget's not, it's salaries, and health insurance. Actually, I think. uh, His health insurance, right, but, you know,
It's gonna be right.
no, he gave us $80,000.
I don't see anything.
But that'll be looked at, so.
Do you guys?
Well, since equipment is zero,
If only it was zero in all the elected offices. Okay,
IT, same thing, salaries, a little contract services or support services
well, so IT saves us money,
and health insurance.
but yet I see 707 and 22 and 1.4. But IT saves us money, Mr. Keller. I was trying to understand that math. Again, I'm a commissioner, not a mathematician. But if you're at 707 and 22 and you're at 1372, let me do that math, Hayden. Is my math correct here? Let's look at this. Let me do that.
maybe you want to start with 2021.
That's a 94% increase. So savings is different in my world.
94%. What?
It's a 94% increase from 707 to 1.372,
Oh, you did go back to,
2022.
okay.
But we were told by our buddy Patrick that they were saving us money. I just don't see it that way, but maybe savings means differently. Or is that you cut our budget and only approved the 4% increase when we wanted a 7% increase? So that counts as a cut.
It's the support services that's really
Yeah, well,
gotten us over the years.
Yes.
And yeah.
is there anything we can cut out of IT? I mean, it's $1.3 million, but
I don't think so.
They got, for 200 years, Richland County got away with no IT.
look at those contract, look at support services.
Sad.
And I think he has a list on his.
Yeah. That's went up more than 100%.
Gotta be Tyler. It's probably what Schneider Geospatial might be in there, unless that's real estate, but
It might be a little, but
They pulled
it's mostly real estate. Oh, yeah. Lovely know before. We love it, don't we, Tony? You want to cut that from the budget?
What's that?
Know before,
Oh my gosh.
depends how.
except we are required.
Can go on the record with thing I ever approved was those
And that,
I would have known that after we approved the duos, we'd have to have unique passwords that were 9,000 characters long
and
Right.
and have to be changed.
and have to be changed.
I don't,
Then you have to enter a duo, and if you enter it wrong like once, the numbers change, and then you have to restart your password. The security threat,
And then you get,
in order for someone to get into my computer, we're gonna veer off this. You have to sneakily get past security, then get past our office door, which is locked, then hope,
can hack your computer from not being in the building.
then you have to get into my computer. Know the unique 9,000 character requirement that has numbers, exclamation points,
Symbols and letters.
calculus formulas, okay? And then if you can hack that, you have to have the little duo thing to then read that code to match. Is that right?
Well, yeah, and then you get frustrated because you put it in and then
If it's wrong,
it's wrong.
change it.
And then you start putting it in again, then you realize you didn't go up and put your cursor in right.
Yeah, now you can't tab. That changed too. You can't just tab into the cursor. You have to drag your mouse back into the cursor.
Yeah.
And then you get locked out.
Security.
Yeah, that's what happens. We have to, look, NASA should take a look at Richland County, baby. You cannot get into our stuff. I want to take that little duo and chuck it out my window so bad. You could do an article on that.
And
But not to mention, we have to do monthly training. And the system automatically generates people who haven't completed the monthly training
in 3 days.
a month. So if you're on vacation, you now start getting notifications that you haven't completed your
The supervisors get
the
the,
supervisors.
Tony gets them.
So you know what I do? I hit reply and I include Pat and 2 IT employees every time and say the same thing. The month isn't over. Because if I'm getting those notices, you're getting them too. And that's my rule. This is all happens. This is not made up. And I hope the public would listen.
If they did, I think
They would,
Went on.
I get that. We work in an office. We don't like that either.
Just adding to his list of slow news day items.
Right.
To work on.
I'm glad I don't have to deal with
Oh, do you have to do all that at your place?
it. Like, what are they?
Multi-layer authentication or.
Yeah,
Do
multi-factor,
you have the duo machine? Do you have the little duo thing?
two-factor, not verification, but that's it.
Every time you log into your,
Sec,
not every time. So you just have a password. Does it have to be 20? I'm about to
at
go.
least 20, I think.
Yeah, it's 20 characters. You have to have letters, characters and numbers in our passwords.
I'll suggest this.
Dr. Carl.
We're gonna talk to Carl and Jay. All right, back to our fun.
Yep.
What do we got?
I don't have his list of support services.
I'm pulling it up. I got it.
Okay.
I mean,
But I don't think there's anything to cut. It's all stuff we have. Like I said, unless you're getting rid of no before, but we're kind of required to have that now. Didn't the state audit,
That's in our cybersecurity program.
Yeah.
Good
the
point.
state mandated that. We had it before the state mandated it, but
ground. Just leave it. I mean, what are you gonna do? It's what they asked. It's about what they asked, what we gave them for last year, so. And they spent 1.2 in actual in 24, so it's not. Right?
yep.
Yeah.
Just leave it.
Treasurer salaries and health insurance.
You know, we've had some fun battles with Bart this year, but his budget requests are pretty reasonable. I mean, we have $52 million in requests and he's requesting 458,000 of it, so he is,
Well, and we can't see DRETAC. This is just general.
I have DRETAC, but his DRETAC's, I follow that too. He's only asking for what in salary, Stacy? And I think he just put in 3%. Well, what is that? Which is less than what we gave in the guidelines, right?
Well, those don't apply to them.
Yeah, but if you're given less, I mean, I'm not gonna fight you if you're doing less. It's 3.1%. So he's put in for salaries less than what our budget, even though he doesn't participate in the scales, he's asked for less than what we've approved.
Reasonable percentage.
Yeah. I don't see anything there. I mean, what did we give him last year? 441, and with insurance increases, he's asking for 458. A 3.8% total budget increase when health insurance is going up 7.7%.
Their office is anticipating a pretty significant DRETAC windfall.
I'll believe it when we see it.
Well, it's coming.
When do you think we can, they're gonna file at the Supreme Court level, don't you think?
They've already been to the Supreme Court,
No, the Supreme Court.
US,
Don't you think? At that amount of money?
they have jurisdiction.
Doesn't mean they're not gonna,
We'll see.
doesn't mean they're not gonna try.
They're going to realize a significant DRETAC windfall sooner or later from Rover.
Yeah, but then they have to be offered a payment plan. Yeah, so. All right,
I skip prosecutor and common pleas because we've already done them.
all right, so now let's talk domestic relations because they have asked for some additional, and granted, it's not a big budget and it is a court. So. They are asking for 9 full-time employees. If you recall, they are now seeking that the general fund pay 100% of the assignment clerk's salary as opposed to splitting 6% with mediation. 3 employees exceed the pay scale
That she is not adopted.
that she hasn't adopted, even though they're in the
Hired
scale.
adopted it.
Again, they're judges. Love her, just going over my notes.
Want to make sure that was part of it.
Yep. I looked at it, that's sort of like tangential participation, right, Keller? We're in the scales, but we don't follow them.
Scales are a critical measurement tool that the commissioners use to evaluate those positions.
Funny, when I was in the private sector, although I was in HR, I could only imagine me telling the budgeting authority at my company. I see your scales and we may be in them, but I'm not gonna follow. How do you think that would have went over for me? So yeah, they are seeking a $10% increase in salaries. 9.5%. The other significant increase is the health insurance, which we know about. I mean, everything else is pretty consistent, but for the salary increase and the health insurance, which you can't do anything about at this time.
What's the justification for the general fund taking on all of the clerk position?
I recall they wanted to hire a lawyer for mediation, remember? They wanted a more qualified and suitable individual to oversee mediation to give it more oomph. If we're going to make any decision with respect to their budget, it's, do we go forward with the general fund paying 100%? Knowing that once we do that, it ain't going backwards. Hayden, what do you think? Hey, we used to ask Carl, you're here.
I see.
Well, you're no fun.
The summary 1, 2, 3. Under, I know it's not general fund, but the salary there tripled,
Wait, hold on.
actually paid in 2025.
And it's probably, it's important to look at 2024 as well. Look at the salary actual in 2024.
Yeah. Well, that's been all over the place.
There was a 20% jump from 2024 to 2025.
when she took office.
And was that not in part due to our respect of the scales for some of their scaled employees? Tony?
All right, so here's 2024, they requested 8 full-time, 1 part-time. They're seeking an additional full-time assignment clerk of mediation and part-time bailiff from when Judge Owens took over, asking for 40% of that salary to come from the general fund. In 2025, they were seeking a part-time bailiff and assistant clerk to seeking another part-time bailiff and assignment clerk part-time. So they went from 8 full-time to 1 part-time, 2 more part-time. It says, see the mediation schedule because it's actually listed as full-time. They're asking that part of her salary to be paid out of general fund in 2025. So they have slowly migrated the salary of that person, and now they want 100% to be paid out of the general fund, in addition to having 3 employees in their scale, Wright, Schuling, and Wilson, outside their ranges, even though the judge says that's not what they want to follow. And as of 2025, they had 205,464 in mediation. You look right now what they're at. They have 100, well, let's see here. No, hold on. It's fund number. Hold on. 123, not 125. Let's see here. So they have right now in their mediation fund $263,000 as of today. And I show that's the highest it's ever been. As of,
That's a fund, by the way, that
oh, in
Be-
2028, they had 200, in 2015, they had 208,000. Yeah, the farthest the system goes back is 2013, 12 years ago. And that is the largest amount they've ever had.
that fund should be supported by litigants. And the judge does have some control for fees.
I don't think general fund should pay 100% of that. We already agreed for 50. So let's take a look at what that would be. Hold on, I gotta go to the domestic. So they are seeking 45,760 for a full-time assignment clerk at an hourly rate of $22 an hour.
And that's what was split in previous years.
Hold on, I'm going to last year.
45,000 happens to be the difference between the approved budget for last year and what they're asking for this year in salaries.
Yeah, they're asking for 3%. Granted, some people exceed the ranges. So now I think we do need to be fair. Now they have 2 really good magistrates, by the way. She's got a good group up there. Now, the people that exceed their ranges, we're not talking are making a ton, so we need to be fair. I mean, even with she wants a full-time bailiff now, which was part-time, Andrew, I showed last year the base salary was 468. And this year with raises and moving someone to full-time and bringing someone on, it's 529, 276, 80.
At the beginning of the year, 468, because like,
That's what they put in this year's budget, but it doesn't match.
Right.
Right.
We appropriated 480,
Appropriated 483.
and she's gonna end up at 474, 190.
Right, it's pretty close. I caught her heading here. It's gonna be close. I had checked that.
Well, if you add 3% to what they're gonna end at, next year would be 488, 423.30. 4,823. Just 3% gonna end.
So what do we want to do? Mr. Banks?
60-40. Talk to her.
No, we'll do the budget and then they can,
Come fight with us.
right. That seems to be.
I think we should-
Upper end, so.
We should lower that, and their health insurance went up 49.85%. But did they add,
They're the numbers provided that can come with coverage. You remember we had, what department was it had health insurance increase by more than the salaries?
say she's proposing to take somebody full-time, a bailiff.
Yeah, she wants the assignment clerk also to be 100% paid out of the general fund at 45,760.
So if we grant,
Those courts don't like to use their outside general funds, Hayden. I'll tell you. They're like gold to them. We have almost $2 million sitting in non-general fund court funds, outside court funds.
and they're including the sheriff, it's what, 72% goes to the criminal justice system? That's,
I think it's higher than that. I think it's 80, but I guess hold on a second. That is a mediation fund, right? And that fund doesn't go away. So shouldn't mediation be paid out of mediation?
the minutes reflect the justification for the need.
No, but
So
leave it at 50%?
we would certainly need the justification.
what did we approve last year, Stacy?
But we start, this 25
Yeah.
started at 483, 248.
All right, hold on.
She's only gonna be 474, 197.
To 512,000. We'll do a little more than 50%. She could figure it out with mediation. So. I mean, we've reduced every court so far.
Are we,
The courts have to share in the process to get,
currently is it 50-50?
Mhm.
give or take. That gives, what I did is I took
That's a-
the actual,
3% plus.
took the actual plus 3%, plus a little more for a little bit of room on 50% of the 45,760.
It's the Stacy 60-40 plan.
Give or take, yeah. They gotta share a little bit. I mean, look at their salaries in just 2022 to 2026. That also went into the justification.
Absolutely.
So
And you're right, they
we
do.
reduced,
You have a couple of sharp magistrates up there.
they do.
Both happen to be from Ashland County, but
That's why they figured out the experts and wanted to come over to Richland and do better.
I can't say anything there.
Is that why you practice over there?
Grass is always greener on the other side of the county line.
All right. Yeah, I think that's good.
Who has to talk to her?
We'll give them the budget and they can ask questions.
Okay. Final.
Did we do probate yet? Okay, so they're actually asking for less salaries. Scroll down all the way to the bottom. They're asking for less than we gave them last year, you guys. They might be the one court we don't touch because they asked for less. It's actually 8.4% less.
It's not insignificant.
Agree that there's nothing to cut there.
And our justification will be we didn't reduce probate court because they already asked for a reduction.
So
Right. I don't see, I mean, how do you dang a court asking for over 8% less?
I think we ought to reward them, give them more money than they ask for. Better person. International.
Commissioner Banks wants to give more money to probate court because all courts should be like them. There's a headline for you. Clerk of courts, okay. Her budget was good.
Yeah, salaries, health payout, health insurance.
I mean,
Asking for less too, right?
no, she wants more. By 10%. But she had a contract that we have to follow. That's the majority of the salaries.
Payout.
And a payout and health insurance went up. So there's not much you can do there. Everything else is on point.
And they're paying for their improvements to their.
Paying for their improvements. Okay, coroner. Do we really want to mess with autopsies?
Yep.
Stacy says yes.
Tell you, my estimate for this year is what she has paid and what purchase orders she has open is $186,330.
Oh, geez.
And my suggestion was to lower it to 285, which is cutting $75,545. You could cut it more, but I mean,
Hold on. Let me go to my detailed notes. I want the media to be proud of me.
2020.
Here's what I got.
283,
I'm gonna dazzle them.
do an average.
They're requesting a 52% increase in the autopsies or non-contract services, which that is from 2025.
Yep.
They also have money in for a part-time investigator as both are nearing retirement. That, I agree with that. No official date yet, but training is extensive and out of state for this. Remember, don't have to go to Kansas City. Yep, see, look at that. They're also asking for money for the Suicide Coalition. I think we need to hear some more on that.
They talked about it, but I don't know where.
But there are other entities that perform that service, so I'm not
talking to Laura Montgomery on.
right.
And
So I would wait. That's not to say we don't fund that to participate.
I think they asked for money. If they did, where they?
And hold on,
we had discussed 5,000, but I think
it discussed,
that should be, we should not be appropriating money on that until we're satisfied.
correct. Hold on, let me,
$5,000 increase anywhere to pay it from.
hold on, let me
We didn't put it in.
see. I'm okay with you reducing. Where do you think they're gonna be this year?
For what she has paid to date, which she doesn't pay timely. And the purchase order she has open, 186,330. And you don't know from year to year.
You think we could reduce it 100, Keller?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a guess. We want that to be less, obviously, for,
They
I
did.
mean, looking at actuals from 22 and 23 and 24, I think 275 is probably appropriate.
And
And plus, as Stacy alluded to, with how expenses are paid sometimes, it's hard to say for sure what it will end up being this year.
And again, we only have 2 more weeks to pay bills.
And clearly they were expecting a higher number next year. So I mean, I want to give some deference to that.
Right.
Right.
She did just pay. I caught where she just paid for an autopsy last week or two.
Yeah, Bob wanted,
So Bob mentioned that there are less overdose deaths
Hmm.
this year than there has been for years.
Mhm.
We all got a pretty good idea why that is.
Now, I believe, Montgomery County still handles our autopsies.
yes,
And
They didn't increase the price.
didn't increase. Really, it seems like they're guessing good hours.
And again, if they need it, we gotta put it there.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, we were trying to cut $1.8 million.
Let's go with the 285.
285 or 275?
Oh, if we do 275, that's 85,000.
Yeah,
Okay.
285 is cutting $75,000. But 23 obviously was a really high year. And you can go more, you can go 290, but but I'm thinking she's only gonna end, even if she ends at 90.
80, you gotta stay no lower, lower than 285. I mean, you think about it, in 2023, they spent 339, so it's below historical actual, so I wouldn't go much lower than that.
No, I like 285.
I'm fine with 285.
Recognizing it could be below that, it could be above that.
Right. Let's hope below for all.
Pay for it either way.
But considering Montgomery hasn't raised their fees, 2020, it's just a matter of how many autopsies are necessary.
And I don't see that $5,000 increase in their budget, because the only thing that increased was travel, and that was 2,000.
As you mentioned that, Stacy, I think Bob's, what Bob was saying is, I just want to mention it and throw it out there and start talking about it. So you're right, it must not be in the budget. And I had a conversation with him offline that I think might have tempered expectations a little bit too. I've not heard.
All right, that's a good stopping point.
All you have left is recorder, tax map, and ditch.
We should save a little bit for Cliff, right? And prosecutor.
Oh, prosecutor and
And
us
us.
are next, but right now you're not
All
gonna
right.
do anything. The only
Let's just finish them.
this tax map is, do you want to take out that termination payout? Because recorder, what are you gonna do? She didn't ask for anything.
They,
Salary, health
Yeah.
insurance.
and their staff is less. Now, they will eventually seek a scanning clerk, but how do you, I mean, Denise is great.
She used their,
Can do anything in the recorder's office.
She uses a computer. And tax map, the only thing is, do you want to leave it in or not? Which we can.
Oh, wait, now hold on though. Let's talk about the ditch. He has 5% or no, he has 3.5% pay raises, I'm sorry. In ditch, hold on. Let's do tax map next. So in tax map, he has 4% raises,
Hmm.
which is outside our guidelines.
They're
He's
not.
not tied to the 4%. He's requesting the 4%. Adam is smooth.
What's his I'd have to go pull the contract.
you're saying maybe 4% is in the, well, if he's not tied to it, it must be non-union.
He knows what our guidelines were. I think unions were higher.
So the people not in the wage scales did not get our guidelines. The memo didn't say. Only the wage scale people got. Let me look. Yeah, non-wage scale got workers' comp 3% and health insurance 7.7. So if you are not in the wage scales, I gave them no guidance.
The tax map employees unrepresented as far as you know, Steve.
Yes, they are all unrepresented,
Hold on a second.
non-union. And I'd have to go pull his contract to see what his union people get. And his employees, pay 10% of the health insurance premium, because that's what the union contract says.
That's Elaine, Jen, and Greg, right? I'd leave it.
I mean, you could lower it to 3.5 if you want.
I'd leave it where it's at.
Leave it for this year.
And I keep the payout in or take it out. It's $32,000.
I'd take the payout out though. That's the compromise, and if we have to pay it, we'll have to figure out how to pay it.
And it's no compromise because.
Right, but we'll say, hey,
Hey,
give you the 4%, but I mean,
yeah.
A couple years,
I'm trying to make ourselves feel better, here, okay?
a couple years ago, we used to take the payouts that we didn't think were gonna happen and put them in our contingency line if we had the money. But, so that's something to look at.
Yeah.
That if when we get down to it, where the contingency line could be available to use for that. Oh, well, look, I got you down to 1673.
But does that include your magic to save 200?
But yes, that was my saving because we started at 1.8.
Right, you're right.
That's,
We did cut.
that's my magic.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
200 plus.
I still think there's more coming, and then
Yep.
with revenue, like I discussed, but we'll go through the process.
I gotta go through commissioner's budget and prosecutor's budget.
So $1,673,160.96 is the current gap we have to close.
All right, Hey, do you have any questions?
Honestly, what was done? I think there was none. It's planned, so.
Okay.
Still awake back there.
Propose us 8 steak dinners after all this.
Yeah.
You can put that.
I'd settle for one.
Knowing the twins he's dealing with, he might,
Yeah, he'd prefer to.
He would prefer to stay here.
he thinks he's getting around.
But I don't want my steak raw.
Be ready to adjourn.
Yes, we will adjourn at 11:49.